Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking over a scenario where South Korea forms an empire. Just letting you guys know, I am looking towards 100 subscribers on YouTube, and if any of you guys that aren't subscribed, it would help me out a lot, and we could push out some more content. Anyways, South Korea will be forming an empire today. With their K-pop army, they just decide, yeah, let's have a crack at an empire. With this recent news, North Korea is going to be like, that's not good. Let's denounce their actions, which is going to lead into our first war, where South Korea declares war on the North. They would have an edge advantage when it comes to crossing the border, and they would be able to push out a little bit. But again, North Korea has one of the largest, if not the largest, amount of mobilized troops, so they'd be able to push them back and push into South Korea. Now, so I will mention this now. South Korea is boosted. They will be boosted in power for this video. So they will manage to push the South or North Koreans back, and they would be able to cross the border again. They do a bombing campaign and manage to wipe out nearly all of their troops. Of course, they'd still not deploy all of them instantly, so they'd still have a decent force. They managed North Korea away from North Korea, and they managed to capture those territories. They managed to go up. So now South Korea will be able to push up, but here is where they face a bit more of a pushback, as the North Korean troops would be able to push them back slightly more. But with another bombing campaign, North Korea has just done other troops, like their troops are gone. So South Korea will manage to push them all the way up here. And then this is kind of where China's like, if you do that one more time, if you push any further, we'll, join the war. So I guess we're gonna have to strike a peace deal. Let's see what the peace deal will be like. We see in the peace deal that they managed to annex most of the land that they, invaded for, making South Korea extremely strong. Now that they don't own all of the Korean peninsula, I don't see that happening, but we'll say that they managed to get something. We'll say that North Korea manages to become a South Korean puppet state. Again, that's because South Korea is buffed, and now they're the only Korea recognized, so they're just Korea. So now where should South Korea expand to next? They got Japan right here, but they're kind of strong. So I think we're gonna have an agreement between China and South Korea, meaning that a joint invasion will happen in Taiwan. The Americans are like, what the heck? But they're not gonna intervene because China won't get the full island. China will come in from over here, and the South Korean troops will come in from the top. Now with China's amount of troops and South Korea's buffed army, Taiwan would just not manage to do much. Now, who gets what is the new discussion. I'd say the tip will have this amount of Taiwan go to the new Korean Empire. They're not taking as much land as they would want to, but they are taking some land, which is good. So what I think they're going to do now, they would negotiate with China to annex the North Korean puppet state. And now we have a buff Korea. But now, where would they expand to next? I mean, China already has Taiwan, so they're going to do a wild card. They're going to declare war on Russia. Why would they declare war on Russia, you may be asking? Well, just watch to find out. As you can see, they would have obviously built up a large amount of troops, and they'd begin to start pushing into Siberia. Japan would join in, and they just own this island. South Korea would be able to push up very fast, and they get around here before Russia's like, hold on, let's stop this now. But again, they're trying to do something in Ukraine, so I don't think they'd be able to do much stopping here. I shall also note that there's going to be no nukes in this scenario, just because that's no fun. So now South Korea is just ruthlessly pushing up. There would eventually be a Russian force coming down here. They managed to push them back slightly, but not enough to stop them. Now they have a line where they will try to invade. As it's too cold up here to invade up there, so yeah, they're kind of limited. And now we have South Korea going over here, and boom. This will be the maximum amount of land they would occupy before they call for a peace deal. And the peace deal we would see, obviously, first of all, Japan annexes Sakhalin, and that South Korea would get this chunk of Siberia. And they'd be able to connect it up here. So it's all connected. South Korea being this large, they're bound to make a big slip up eventually. But it's just a matter of time when. So now they go, hey, we got this. We took on Russia. Now, let's try to take on, surprisingly, China. Why would they do this? I don't know, because they're not that smart. But since they're buffed, we will let this play out. Taiwan will get invaded, and since I suspect that they'd put more troops around the new border, they kind of forget sort of about Taiwan, but they'd still manage to push them back with a naval landing. Both the bombing campaign, they'd manage to encircle Taiwan and eventually get it again. They'd just fortify around here, making it their fortress, and up around the border. They build up their forces and push across. Now, this is a pretty underdefended chunk of territory, but they've recently decided to start defending it. So, again, there isn't just free roam here. There actually is being some kind of pushback. But they'd go for a spearhead, and they'd manage to complete it, separating China from China. That part would fall, and they'd manage to take large chunks of territory before, the Chinese troops get back up, and they try to do their best. But now, China's also going to be facing rebellions, specifically in Tibet, so they also need to focus troops over there, as this could collapse their government. So it's bound to go as a failure, so the South Koreans could push all the way up to here. This is a large chunk of land, but they want to go further. They make a naval landing around here, and the Chinese capital would fall, if it hasn't already. And yeah, I feel like now's a good time to do a peace deal after they do some more rampaging. China is not doing that well. Shocker. In the peace deal, we will see that we have a new country, Tibet. I'll give them a rough amount of borders, and we'd see that South Korea would annex all of that land. Well, besides for right here, they'd be forced to give back, that land, just so that China can have their capital. And I don't think the South Koreans would mind that, because they get a whole bunch of territory, even more than they originally occupied. And now we have a giant South Korea. We'll have to fix up these borders, of course. Now with South Korea being this huge, the US would be like, okay, now's your time to chill. This is a massive empire. Now chill. What is going to be South Korea's response? Nah, man, I'm not going to chill. So now they're going to... Of course, this is going to be like a long time, but they'd managed to get a peace deal or negotiate to annex Mongolia. So now they just basically doubled their land, but their borders still look goofy. They don't want to go to war with China again, that would just be silly, so they're going to have to look for other options. Sadly for Japan, the time has come and they will be getting invaded. They build up a huge force, and they managed to make a naval landing around here. I'm not good with Japanese place names, so forgive me. They managed to go and take this island. Now, the Japanese will fight hard, but, they're no match for this buff empire when China couldn't even hold them off. Sakhalin will fall pretty decently fast, and a naval landing would be made in the top island. They managed to island hop and capture that, and they'd set up a front line in mainland Japan. The top island would fall, and now it's just the main island. They'd eventually get pushed back to here, and I believe Tokyo is like here-ish. They get pushed back some more. And now we have a Japan that doesn't want to give up, but a South Korean army that won't quit either. They managed to eventually get a naval landing, and from then it's basically done for Japan. There's not much they can do from then. And the peace deal, they just annexed that whole country. Yep. They were hungry for some little nibbles of land. In this case, a whole country. But South Korea has formed a huge empire. But are they done? Not quite. For their final war, they will go to war with China again. But it's just so they can, actually connect their territories and stuff. From Taiwan, they would make a naval landing here. And yeah, that would have a load of troops. They'd also make a naval landing there, pushing out. They'd have troops stationed in Vietnam. So yeah, China, they're not having a good time now, as their southern front is just being demolished and their capital has just been captured. You can fully push out from the territory that they recently annexed in Mongolia, and it's basically looking like it's over for China. They'd be able to station troops in these countries because they'd all dislike China or the Chinese government. And basically, It's over for China. Like, I know I already said that, but just look at this. It's not going well for them. So, yeah. You pretty much already know where this is going, so we might as well cut to the chase. We've seen the peace deal that they would annex a little bit from there, but all of those coastal territories around here. Yeah, they're not holding back on this one. They just want all this land, because, well, they're an empire. But what will happen with the Chinese government? They will become a puppet state to South Korea. This will wrap up today's video. I hope you liked it. This was viewer suggested. If you would like me to make a certain country into an empire, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the video, and I'm it. Remember, if you're not subscribed already, subscribe. I'm on the road to 100 subscribers, and goodbye.